New day right here on TV3. We're talking health, and of course proudly brought to you by Lipton Tea, inspiration flowing from nature. And you just saw some pictures there, and we're discussing Bell's palsy, which is a weakness of the facial muscles, and I'm going to get some more info about how it occurs and so forth. And joining me is none other than one of our resident doctors. We have Dr. Bote from the Ridge Hospital. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
Okay, so let's, define Bell's palsy for us. What exactly is it?
Bell's palsy is basically defined as a unilateral paralysis of the facial muscles to the extent that one side of the person's face refuses or is unable to make any movement at all, while the other side of the face is able to make the necessary or the usual movements. And again, it's actually restricted to just one side of the face.
And it's only the face, it doesn't spread down?
It doesn't spread to anywhere else in the body. So people may have that kind of facial paralysis, half of the face, and they think they have a stroke. I will come to see the differences between Bell's palsy and strokes. It has to be said that the fact that you have a tongue and the tongue can move doesn't mean that you can always have sensation, that the tongue can always taste. Okay. This is because everything that we're doing in terms of movement of raising my eyebrows, bringing my tongue out, blinking my eyes, even tears coming from my eyes, producing saliva, and all these things are controlled by nerves. Now there are so many nerves, we call the cranial nerves, in controlling all these activities in your head region. So you have a sense of smell, controlled by what we call the olfactory nerve. You have the optic nerve, which is cranial nerve 2, taking care of your retina. Your eyes are seeing, taking sensations. You have what we call the oculomotor. So the oculomotor takes care of the movement of your eyeball itself, but not necessarily the eyelid or the eyebrow. So and then you have what we call the trochlea and the trigeminal. Trigeminal is on your face, takes sensations from your face, sensory nerve, but does not usually do the motor movement. So the trigeminal is just for sensations on your face. Then you have the what we call the abducens, and then the number 7 is the facial nerve. The facial nerve is the one that controls your blinking, raising your eyebrows. When I do this, you see creases up here, both sides. But if the facial nerve should get paralyzed or have a problem, then I do this and you see the crease only on one half of the face. Okay. The reason why it doesn't happen both ways is that in the distribution of the facial nerve from the midbrain or from the lower portions of the brain, the facial nerve goes through and comes through the ear, and then back to your mastoid here, and then gets into a facial canal before it gets distributed onto the face. And the same thing happens here. And usually you don't have the problem or the inflammation of the facial nerve happening both ways. So it may only affect the one coming through your right hand side or your right half, and therefore the paralysis appears on this side, and the other side would be normal. Again, what happens is that as the facial nerve traverses its path to the face, there are other things it deals with. It innervates. It takes care of. There's a muscle in your ear called the stapedius muscle. Those who remember their biology will know that there are some bones in the ear bones, malleus, incus, and stapes, or the hammer, anvil, and then stirrup. Yeah, one of them is the stapedius. And the facial muscle, even though it's not got to do much with hearing, innervates one of the muscles there, the stapes. Okay. So it means that even with Bell's palsy, somebody may have a problem with even either overhearing or being hyperacoustic, or if sensitive to sound. Okay. And again, the facial muscle also affects. It takes sensation, taste from the first anterior 2/3 of your tongue. Oh wow. So then that when somebody has Bell's palsy, apart from the paralysis of the face, the first anterior 2/3 of the tongue, the half of it will not be feeling any taste. So only one side will have taste buds? Taste, and cannot have taste. Okay. So that is basically the physiology about Bell's palsy. All right, that was really informative, very medical. I'm trying to make sense of it. Okay, you mentioned the fact that people sometimes think it's stroke when they get Bell's palsy, but whereas we know with stroke is usually from the brain.
Bell's palsy is only from the facial nerves.
Yeah.
Okay, and what is it about the facial nerves? Like, what can make it, I guess, malfunction, if that's the word, so that one can get Bell's palsy? What happens?
Good question. I must say that when we're talking of facial paralysis, there can be other things that can cause facial paralysis. A brain tumor can compress on something in your brain and cause facial paralysis. Somebody may have other things we call Lyme disease or meningitis, or sometimes some forms of stroke can even cause. Even people who have stroke, sometimes you say like the mouth has twisted to one side. But there's a difference. The one that is caused by a stroke may have a form of facial paralysis. Usually that's the lower part of the face, but the upper part is okay. That's, again, I won't go into the anatomy of that.
Side,
exactly. That one, you have the other half of the body also involved.
And that's from the brain.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but when it comes to Bell's palsy, we say that one is idiopathic facial paralysis. In other words, none of these big causes is identifiable as the cause of this person's facial paralysis, and it involves the whole of the face from the top to the bottom. So that's idiopathic. Now, mostly what is thought to be the other is just like that,
fully open.
Yeah,
and you
can't do anything about, unless the person manually says that, okay, let me push my eye over this one
before it will close. Or you wear an eye patch.
Exactly, or wear an eye patch, or get some, when you're going to sleep, you get some tapes to hold the eye together. Again, it's important that it's done, because the eyelids, as they close and open over the eye, they wash the eye of these dirt and things. So this person may not have that advantage.
Your eye should not stay open.
Yes, this person may not have that advantage. His or her cornea may get very dry and irritated. So these are some of the problems and challenges. You ask the person to blow out. One pipe blows out, the other doesn't blow out. It's quite an interesting thing.
How often, do you see the case? Let's just look at Rich, for example.
Yeah.
How often are you treating Bell's palsy
every now
patients?
and then, I would say that probably maybe one in 500 people, you may get a Bell's palsy. Last year in particular, I think I had quite a number. One of the staff of one of our orderlies in the hospital just came with it one morning. He was lucky. I mean, within a few weeks, it has resolved, and as we talk, he's speaking normally. He's doing everything normal. So for some people, it takes a while. I mean, it's 6 months, but usually within, if medications or treatment is initiated within the shortest possible time, a high dose of steroids are used, within 3 weeks the person starts seeing changes. That is not to say that taking steroids is the only way out, but it's one of the best known ways out. Again, another possible cause of Bell's palsy is known to be, may be a link with this herpes simplex virus and herpes zoster.
Which is cold sores.
Yeah, cold sores. The one that causes cold sores.
That's very common.
Don't get scared.
Don't scare me. Wow.
Herpes simplex virus.
Do they know what the link is?
Not exactly. You know, like the last time we spoke about shingles. Yeah. And I told that shingles really, the zoster virus like nerves. So in 45% of cases, it's been seen that there was a relation to the herpes zoster virus. So in terms of the treatment of Bell's palsy too, the combination of the high dose of the steroids for the inflammation, if there's an inflammation, for the inflammation to calm down, hoping that the nerve would regain its size and then normal function will take place. It's better off if it's actually combined with the antiviral agents like acyclovir or those things to help with the management.
Okay, can people recover from Bell's palsy without any medication whatsoever?
Yes, it's idiopathic. Sometimes the cause, as we said, the cause is unknown and usually said to be mainly because of an inflammation of the facial nerve. Okay. Now, if the inflammation is to subside, then you see a retrogression of the symptoms. So there have been people who have had it and without treatment, they have recovered. There are some too that, depending on how extensive it is, they stay on for 6 months. I've seen people who've gone 6 months, people who've gone a year and beyond. And actually, there are people who have, a few people, it becomes a permanent thing.
Oh, wow.
Yes. For some people, they don't recover at all.
Wow. All right. Is there, like, if like things like the common cold, if usually I know certain symptoms of flu and cold before, so you know it's coming. With Bell's palsy, is there any symptoms prior to the facial?
Yeah, as I said, it's just of sudden onset. It comes all of a sudden.
So it's just boom.
Then it comes. But the doctor will ask you a few questions. That you feel some pain in your ear, Or did you ever feel any pain in your ear? Have you ever had any viral infections like herpes zoster and all these things before? Did you feel any posterior or post-auricular pain? Do you have any discomfort at the back of your ear? For which reason we think that there's the facial nerve that may be the cause of this paralysis and not a brain tumor or not meningitis or not Lyme disease or nothing else. So usually you may have these symptoms if it is related to an inflammation of the facial nerve or maybe to a viral infection. You may have the sudden onset of the face droop and then the posterior auricular pain, as well as the fact that you cannot close your eyes, you cannot control the tears in your eye, you have a funny way of tasting. All these
Only
things
one
have
side.
One side. All these things may fall in tandem, and then that would lead to diagnosis that it is Bell's palsy or idiopathic facial paralysis.
Okay, is there an age limit, or is there an age range that it affects, or it goes across board?
Indeed, it can affect any age group, but it's commoner in adults, and it's not that common in children. I must say in children, apart from some kids can get Bell's palsy, even the people who have been born with Bell's palsy, right? And again, there are other forms of palsies in children. We have the Erb's palsy or Klumpke's palsy. These are also like during birth, the process of delivery, maybe bringing the baby out because of an obstruction, the way the baby is brought out, they affect some of the nerves in the axilla, and then maybe the hand may have a bit of paralysis. But those ones, because of it's just a matter of pressure, it resolves over time. So a mother will be told that just be patient. This weakness in your child's arm is going to resolve. Those ones are the Erb's palsy and then the Klumpke's palsy. But with Bell's palsy, it's actually a matter of something to do with the lower portions of the facial nerve, we call the lower motor neuron lesion of the facial nerve.
Okay. All right. If somebody gets Bell's palsy, can physio help in any way, or like facial massages? Do they help in treatment?
One of the yes, we always refer you to, apart from putting on the steroids and antiviral and all those agents, we always refer you to see the physiotherapist as well.
Okay.
To do facial exercises, because the point is that we cannot predetermine how long your facial paralysis is going to be. And no matter how muscular somebody is, if you have so much muscle and the nerves to the muscles are not working to help you flex or extend, eventually the muscles waste. So in order that part of your face doesn't really, the muscles in the little muscles you have in your face to smile, the little muscles you have in your face to frown, even when you get angry, are not working, eventually that part of the face is going to lose the tone in the muscles. So we refer you to the physiotherapist, and then they'll show you particular exercises to be doing. Maybe your GP initially will tell you that try and be chewing gum more on that side of your face. Now, interestingly, even though you have the facial palsy on that side, your teeth, your gum is able to move. So it just tells us that we have different nerves doing all these things all the time. A different nerve taking care of your chewing, we call the glossopharyngeal nerve. You have the hypoglossal nerve taking care of the movement of the tongue. But then that is hard because you can still chew. So we tell, as you chew, you may be doing a bit of movement up and down, and then that may be giving a bit of tone to your facial muscles so that you don't lose it all.
Weird question. Can people with Bell's palsy, can they kiss?
Yes, they can. Because they can kiss. They can. Definitely. I mean, it takes two to kiss. So when they kiss, when they're doing that, definitely, there's no loss in sensation. It's a motor thing. It's a movement thing. But the sensation to the face, as I said, is through the trigeminal nerve. So that one comes to the face as well. But it's just for senses, for touch, for all these things are still intact. So the person can feel you. We say that Bell's palsy is a diagnosis by exclusion.
Okay.
It's not a brain tumor.
Everything
it's not a stroke.
else.
It's not meningitis. It's not Lyme disease. It's not this, not that. But then the person still has facial palsy through and through the whole face. Then we say this is Bell's palsy.
Thank you. You're so knowledgeable, Dr. Botte. I learned so much. I want to say thank you very much. And then, indeed, if somebody wakes up in the morning, would they go straight to the nearest hospital?
Would help solve that problem. I mean, it may take time, but definitely there's usually help.
And most people can recover.
Most people can recover.
All right, thank you very much. All right, that's Dr. Botte from Ridge Hospital, learning a lot about Bell's palsy. Of course, this has been our health segment, proudly brought to you by Lipton Tea, inspiration flowing from nature.